Well, good morning, pilgrims. Guten Morgen, buenos dias, bonjour, bon dia, konnichiwa. Good news and bad news. Yes, today we finally reached Pavia, the last day on the Via Francesca. Oh man, 21 glorious days crossing the Alps, which are right now all the way out there in the distance. Today we get to Pavia after walking 28 kilometers, of course. We're gonna get our testimonium, and that is the bad news. The good news is today is my birthday. Yes, sir. The fourth on the Camino. My first birthday on the Camino was in 2017 on my first Camino Frances. I was getting to Triacastela. The second time it was in 2023 in Atapuerca when I was there with my first group of pilgrims as a guide. The third one was last year in Pamplona after finishing the Camino Frances in reverse. And the fourth one is today. Let's keep this tradition going. Just left the town. Oh my God, I love this town. So beautiful, so memorable. Everything was open. Even the bar this morning opened at 6 a.m. We had to go to one that was a little bit away from the Camino, so we had to walk on the road for just a little section there just to reconnect with the path. The next town is gonna be 12.5 kilometers away. We're following this canal just like we did yesterday. It is drizzling right now, but not too much. There shouldn't be any rain on today's stage. But right now, let's check out the weather, of course.
The current temperature is 15 degrees Celsius or 59 degrees Fahrenheit. Today's forecast is mostly cloudy with a high of 24 degrees Celsius or 75 degrees Fahrenheit and a low of 12 degrees Celsius or 54 degrees Fahrenheit. There's a 58% chance of precipitation at 9 a.m. and a 7% chance of precipitation at 5 p.m.
Okay, so it looks like we're gonna have a little bit of morning showers, but not too bad. Kind of like yesterday, and then it's gonna clear up. Let's do a quick recap of the Via Francesca. About 500 kilometers from Constance in Germany, all the way to Pavia. We get to cross, let's see, 4 different countries. We start off in Germany, enter Switzerland, Liechtenstein, back to Switzerland, and then Italy. About 2/3 of the way take place in Switzerland, and the last week is here in the Po Valley. I'm doing it in 21 stages. You can do it in longer, shorter, it's up to you, depends how many kilometers you do per day. We did not take a single rest day, so take that into consideration. Well, it looks like it stopped raining, or drizzling. I wouldn't call it a rain. Every time I talk to you guys, I look completely different. So let's go over some of the gear that I brought and I did not get to use. Just keep in mind, of course, that this is not my only Camino. I will be doing 3 back-to-back. So there are things that I need for, let's say, when I go from Pavia onto Rome. The first one is a bar of soap. I brought a bar of soap just to, when I take a shower. As you guys know, sometimes at the hostelos, or like, let's call them municipal albergues, they don't offer anything. Just they have the shower, of course, but you have to bring your soap, you have to bring your towel. So I did not get to use the soap at all. I even have a plastic case for it. So that's just been sitting in the back of my backpack at the bottom. Yes, it weighs just a little bit. Also, the towel, I think I used it once. So you could just skip it altogether. Let's see, another thing that I brought and did not use was the liner. I always carry a liner with me on every Camino because there are places where they have blankets. And the blankets, they don't wash them as often as you wish. So you just put the liner on and then you can throw anything on top of it. The liner is a good defense for bed bugs. That's one thing. I have never been bitten by bed bugs, at least that I know of. So those 3 things, you can skip it all together on this one. It all depends where you stay, of course. On this Camino, we stay mostly in private accommodations, for the most part, hotels and such. So they have towels for you, they have soap in the bathroom. So even the few hostelos that we stay at, they still offer it. Let's see, anything else that I brought that did not get a chance to use? To be honest with you, not much, because even though I'm carrying about 30 pounds or 12 and a half kilos worth of weight, most of it is my filming gear. I only have 2 sets of clothes, 2 sets of hiking clothes, and 1 just to hang out. So that's about it. No regrets. Short and sweet. Moving on to the gear that I will not do this Camino without. That is a tough one because everybody has their own preferences. I have some stuff for the vlogging, I have some stuff for the hiking. So let's go into the hiking because most people are not going to be vlogging, at least not at this level of craziness. So I would say my laundry kit. That would be the one piece that you definitely need. You need something out here, because in the entire trip I think I only used like 2 washing machines over 21 days. In Switzerland there were no self laundry mats, none of them. We started to see them here in Italy. So in Switzerland you definitely have to wash your clothes by hand, whether it is in the sink or in my case I have the scrubber bag. But the most important thing is not even the bag, because you can get yourself like a dry sack. It works just as well. In my case, the most important piece of gear for laundry is the detergent sheet. That has been a revelation. I have enough to last me all the way to Rome, and it weighs next to nothing. It's like a slice of paper. You throw that in there, so much foam, and it smells delicious, man. By the way, you can see a list of all my hiking gear and vlogging kit. I have it in the description down below. I also have my clothesline. That one, you don't really need it. Sometimes I use it, sometimes I just throw the clothes like on the window, like I did yesterday. And yesterday I had a fan, which was nice, so I just point the fan at it all night long, and in the morning everything is nice and dry. If it's a sunny day, then it's even faster. But yesterday, for example, in the middle of the night there were a thunderstorm, so I had to close the windows. So the fan is great. I also have my little fan, which is a piece of gear that me particularly, I will not do a Camino without, because I have been out here in Europe in the summer times and I have baked to a crisp. So I have my fan that is multi-purpose. I can have it here, clip onto my shoulder strap as I'm walking. I have done that here a few times, and it's nice to have that breeze on a really sunny day and hot. I can also use it when I'm staying at the hostel. Let's say it's a hot night. I have done that as well on the Caminos in Spain. And I can also use it to dry my clothes. So anything that you bring, please try to get at least 2 or 3 uses out of it, just to make it worth it. And that's it. Super simple. I've been doing this for a while, so I have been tweaking my gear over the last 8 years, and it will continue to happen in the future. So check my my vlogging and hiking kit, my Amazon page, because it's constantly being refreshed. We are almost at the end of the list. The one thing, the one file I will not do this Camino without will be the GPS tracks for the entire route. Yes, in Switzerland, it's not as well signed as it is here in Italy, and that's just because of the bureaucracy process over there. So definitely download the GPS tracks, because if not, you're gonna get lost. There are so many trails in Switzerland crisscrossing each other. I think they have about 60,000 kilometers worth of trail in that country. So get the GPS tracks, never be lost out here. And let's see, what else? Rely on public transportation. Yes, we did that quite a few times in Switzerland, mostly because of the accommodation situation. Sometimes we wanted to gain more ground, trying to have the stages at around 25 kilometers, so we would walk past our endpoint and then take the bus back the next morning, go to that place and continue on walking. So that was something that I did a lot in Shikoku, in Japan. I learned that trick over there. We put it to the test here, and it worked out great. If not, you're gonna have stages that are either too short or too long. And the train system in Switzerland and the buses is so great that you're able to do just that. Cyclists, this early in the morning? 11 in the morning, we made it to the biggest town on today's stage other than Pavia, and we stopped at a cafe just to enjoy our mid-morning snack, coffee and a small Napolitana. And Herman went to the little shop next door just to get some supplies. The next town is gonna be like 7 kilometers away from here, where we might be able to get a bite to eat for lunch. It's cloudy, which is great because we've been walking out in the open plains with no shade in sight. Oh my God, we just had the greatest lunch at this restaurant on the side of the road, and that car that just drove by were the people that were sitting next to our table. An Egyptian guy that works in installing solar panels, and he speaks like 7 languages. So he was speaking to us. We had the best time. This place came out of nowhere. This is one of those restaurants where workers go for lunch. So the place is jam-packed. I say about 100 people in there. The menú del día, or the daily special, 10 euros with a starter, which in my case was pasta carbonara. Then I had pork with cheese and prosciutto on top and a salad. I had sparkling water, of course, but I could have gotten wine. And then closed it, of course, with the espresso macchiato. Talking to that guy the whole time. Oh man, what a great lunch break. Like I haven't had in a long time. All right, I guess now all we have is the last push to Pavia. And as you can see, the sun is out, as it always comes out in the afternoon. So I think it's time to take out the umbrella. Another one of those items that I will not do a camino without. No, sir, that is the best thing that I've gotten in a while. So we decided to take the bus just for a couple of stops to gain some ground and some time. And as we're waiting here for the bus to arrive, a surprise, something we were not expecting to see, and it turns out to be a pilgrim on the last day. And the guy is also going all the way to Rome. I will be ahead of him, but he's doing such long stages that I think he'll probably catch up to me towards the end of the trip. So as I said, only a few stops just before we make it to the entrance to Pavia. Use the public transportation whenever it's available and make the stages shorter. Just another tip. Here we go. Well, there you have it, just a handful of stops just to skip the suburban area, you might say. And we are now about to do something that I've been looking forward to for the longest time. And that is walk right next to the Ticino River. Yes, I made the entrance to Pavia last year along the Ticino River on the other side. Now I'm doing it on this side. And it is a beautiful walk, so I'm really looking forward to it. You guys know that this is my jam. Walking next to the river walk into town, it is what I really enjoy doing. We have 2.5 kilometers of this beautiful trail. I mean, look at this. This is why we took the bus, just to escape the entry into the major cities. When you go through the suburbs and all the craziness, we've been walking on asphalt for the last couple of days. And look at this, it feels like we're walking on a cloud, being welcomed into Pavia. And you know what I'm on the lookout for? What I would really love to see? The icing on the cake, you might say? If I get to see pilgrims on the other side of the river, if I get to see the people that are walking on the Via Francigena making their way to Pavia. Oh man, please, please make it happen. Just when you think that things are working out, you get to a roadblock like this, but of course, it's not gonna stop us. We have the river covering the path. I guess we're gonna have to backtrack just a little bit because look at that. I'm not getting to Pavia with wet shoes. No, sir. Let's find a detour. Well, there you have it, guys. We made it to the bridge. Sadly, we didn't see all the pilgrims on the other side, but I was there about 7 months ago with a group of 5 pilgrims. It was an incredible day, just like today, making it to Pavia. Oh, I love this town. This is the 3rd time that I'm here, and I'm really looking forward to maybe arrive one day on a bicycle. That will be another epic adventure. But this is the last day here on the Via Francesca. Let's head into the city center, visit San Agustin, and get our testimonium. And today's my birthday. I mean, what more can I ask for? All right, pilgrims, here we are after walking close to 500 kilometers, 21 stages, walking down the streets of Pavia, savoring every stamp on the pilgrim passport. We made it to Basilica di San Pietro del Cielo di Oro. Did I say that right? Yes. We made it here at 4 or 5 in the afternoon, walked inside, got our final stamp in both the pilgrim passport and the testimonium. It was written by hand, as it should be done, of course. And then we headed over to see the tomb of Saint Augustine. Thank you so much, Herman, for inviting me on this pilgrimage. Thank of the friends of the Via Francesca, Switzerland, for having me here. And now you can continue down to Rome in both my 2018 playlist, or you can follow me now, which I will start tomorrow, on my way down to the Vatican. You can also see the Via di Francesco, which I did a few years ago. So you have options. And hopefully in the future, you can follow me on my bike trip from Canterbury to Rome. So I guess I'll see you guys.
Most important, thanks to FN to be such a good pilgrim companion on this beautiful trip down here to Pavia. Thank you, FN.
Thank you, Herman. I guess we couldn't have said it any better. See you in the next playlist.